Mic check, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR. You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR. You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
Mic check. 1 2.
This is a KUGR sports production.
Good pass down low to Airstrip, and he scores off the glass.
Giving you play-by-play coverage of all your favorite WSU athletics.
He doesn't get it! He's stuffed at the line!
Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and more.
Absolutely electrifying play from Washington State to get them right back in this game.
Follow us on YouTube at KUGR Sports to listen to every game live.
What a play! What a kill by Brewstad!
Never miss a moment with the best in the West. KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
Gets the Cougs on the board with less than 20 seconds remaining in this first period. Here come the Cougs.
And now, on to the game.
We welcome you inside Bailey-Brayton Field, where for the first time ever, the Washington State Cougars take on the Gardner-Webb Running Bulldogs in town from Bowie's Creek, North Carolina, making the cross-country flight into Pullman on a wonderful, sunny, 60-degree day here on the Palouse. It's sunny, but there's less wind from Tuesday. And welcome inside, everybody. Declan Curran here on the call. Thank you for joining us for this presentation of WSU Baseball and KUGR, where the Washington State Cougars and the Gardner-Webb Bulldogs have almost identical records. Gardner-Webb coming in with a record of 16-17. They're in Gardner-Webb's last game. That was on Tuesday at home against Queens University of Charlotte. Actually, correction, that was home against Elon, where they won a slugfest 14-11. They scored in every inning except the third, the fifth, and the eighth. They put up 4 runs in the fourth. They got 15 hits in that game, whereas Washington State is coming off a series split, a 2-game series split against Oregon State, losing the first game 18-0 in 7 innings, followed by a 7-6 win on Tuesday. The star of that game was Ryan Shawnsby, the captain for the Cougs. Shawnsby had 3 singles and scored a run.
Ladies and gentlemen,
nearly every Coug reached base in that game. Washington State led that game 3-0 after the first inning. We're up 7-3 going into the ninth. Give up a 3-run homer to make it a 1-run game, and ultimately it held up for Washington State as they were able to win 7-6, and they will look to pick up a series win against Gardner-Webb here. Starting on the mound today will be left-hander Nick Lewis, the redshirt sophomore, 5.04 ERA, 3-2 record. He'll be opposed by Gardner-Webb right-hander Oliver Ellison, the junior, comes in with a record of 4-3 and ERA at 4.79. Should be a very competitive game of college baseball here today and over the next 3 days, but we will take a break for the national anthem and be back for the starting lineups and first pitch. You're listening to WSU Baseball and KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
All right, welcome back inside Bailey-Brayton Field. Just about ready for the start of this one. The Gardner-Webb Bulldogs and your Washington State Cougars. The coaches just exchanged lineup cards with today's umpires, and with that, we'll go over the starting lineups. First for Gardner-Webb, led by head coach Jim Chester in his fifth season at Gardner-Webb. Leading off will be the center fielder Merrick Carter. Hitting second will be the second baseman Ryan Kennel. Hitting third, the designated hitter Kelvin Augusto. Hitting fourth will be the first baseman Matt Elgenfritz. Batting fifth at third base is Drew Repepe. Hitting sixth in right field, Ethan Leal. Hitting seventh in center field, Daniel Smith. Hitting eighth in catching is Zach Thompson. Hitting ninth, the shortstop Alan Camarillo. And on the mound is the junior right-hander Oliver Ellison. Now for the Washington State Cougars, led by third-year head coach Nathan Choate. Leading off, as always, playing second base will be Gavin Roy. Hitting second in left field is Mason Perello. Hitting third, playing center field, Max Hartman. Hitting fourth at third base, Ollie Obenauer. Hitting fifth in right field, Dustin Robinson. Hitting sixth, playing first base, Ryan Shawnsby. Hitting seventh, DHing is Dane Chavez. Hitting eighth, doing the catching is Noah Thine. Hitting ninth, the shortstop, Kyler Northrup. And on the mound is the left-hander, Nick Lewis. Coming in with a 3-2 record with a 5.04 ERA, 47 hits, 29 runs, 25 of those earned, 18 walks, 27 strikeouts, 6 home runs given up on the year. Our umpires today behind the plate, calling balls and strikes, is Dale Luker, Kyle Fecto at first, Joseph Finley, umpire at second, and Stephen Craze is over at third. Gardner-Webb is wearing all black today, black jerseys, black pants, black helmets with red letters saying GW on the front and red numbers on the back, along with the Big South Conference logo on the left shoulder. Washington State going with the home whites with white pants, crimson numbers on the front and crimson numbers on the back, crimson Cougars on the front, crimson hats, and gray numbers underneath the crimson Cougars. Nick Lewis finishing his warm-up pitches. Getting ready to face Merrick Carter, the only left-handed hitter in this Gardner-Webb starting lineup today. With the left-hander on the mound for Washington State, it's going to be a very right-handed heavy Gardner-Webb lineup. And the the final warm-up has been thrown over second base. It's time for baseball. Gardner-Webb and Washington State. It'll be Merrick Carter to lead off, the center fielder for Gardner-Webb, the senior, hitting .294 on the year, 6 homers and 22 RBIs. Steps in from the left side. Nick Lewis gets the sign. The windup in the first pitch is in there for a strike, and we are underway right on time at 4:05 p.m. 0-1 count on Merrick Carter of Gardner-Webb. And that's down and in for a ball. Counts even, 1-1. Merrick Carter, a transfer from Alabama Huntsville, Division II level. Here's the 1-1 swing and a fly ball into left field. Back on it is Perello on the track. He makes the catch, and that's the first out of the inning. 3 pitches and 1 out for Washington State, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Ryan Kennel, for Gardner-Webb, the senior from Westland, Michigan, hitting .328, 2 homers, 24 RBIs on the season. Now, the first pitch from Lewis, chopper foul over by third. Strike 1, 0-1. Now, with a team name like the Bulldogs, guy with the last name Kennel is a perfect fit for a team like Gardner-Webb. Kennel enjoyed a tremendous junior season in 2021 for Churchill High School, hit .530 as the 0-1 to him. This is for a ball, 1-1. He garnered first-team All-State honors in the state of Michigan. He was PBR Select 25 All-State honors and won team MVP. So the 1-1 is high for a ball, 2-1. Kennel was also a perfect game in Rawlings preseason All-America choice as well as for the class of 2022. So very accomplished player in high school, and he's ahead in the count 3-1. Lewis only 18 walks on the season, hoping to keep it at 18 and not walk 19. Here's the 3-1. Swung on, foul behind the plate. Count is full, 3-2. For Nick Lewis, he's a two-time all league in high school, threw 3 no-hitters in high school, and redshirted the 2024 season as the payoff is in there. Strike 3 called. Down goes Kennel for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Kelvin Augusto, the DH today for the Bulldogs. The
Designated hitter number 23, Kevin Augusto.
Augusto is the junior from Puerto Rico, hitting 388 on the year, 3 homers, 31 RBIs, and he'll watch the first pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. The 0-1 down for a ball, 1-1. Augusto previously played at Alabama State. It's part of the Carlos Beltran Baseball Academy, where a lot of current major leaguers from Puerto Rico have come out of as well. It's a 2-1 count now as the next pitch missed, and this one also misses. It's a 3-1 count on Augusto. So that's 2 straight 3-1 counts. So the next 2 batters is the 3-1 is up high for a ball. I was going to say Lewis was down 3-1 on Kennel before he came back to strike him out, but doesn't do that with Augusto. Augusto reaches first on a walk. So it's runner on first with 2 outs. And that'll bring up Matt Ilgenfritz, the senior first baseman out of New Cumberland, Pennsylvania. Just underway here, top of the first. No score. Lewis gets the sign and then move to first. Back in standing up is Augusto. That was kind of a slow throw over there to first. It was enough to get Augusto back in safely. So first, now another move. This time Augusto dives in safely. Still a 0-0 count. And another move over to first. He's very concerned about Augusto, who's back in safely for a 3rd time now. Got some info on Elgin Fritz for you. He played at Cedar Cliff High School in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania. As the first pitch finally comes home, and it's in there for a strike, 0-1 on Elgin Fritz. Elgin Fritz played at Cedar Cliff High School in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania. Hit 424, 20 games played a senior season, 25 hits and 8 doubles. Another move over to first by Lewis. Back in standing up is Augusto. Elgin Fritz also had 4 homers, had 16 RBIs, scored 20 runs his senior season. As the 0-1 comes home. Swinging a fly ball into right field. Underneath it is Robinson in front of the warning track, makes the catch, and that will retire the side in the top of the first. Gardner-Webb gets no runs, no hits, no errors, leaves the man. We played a half an inning. It's Gardner-Webb 0, Washington State coming up. This is Washington State Baseball on KGR, the student voice of the Blues.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
Gardner-Webb did not score on the top of the first, and now Washington State comes to the plate for the first time. Facing the right-hander, Oliver Ellison comes in with the 4-3 record of 4.79 ERA in 47 innings, going at 64 hits, 28 runs, 25 earned, 14 walks, 42 strikeouts, 6 homers allowed on the season. It'll be Gavin Roy, Mason Pro, Max Hartman to here in the first. Set the defense for you again for the Bulldogs. From left to right, it's Daniel Smith, Merritt Carter, and Ethan Leal. Infield third to first, Drew Repepe, Alan Camarillo, Ryan Kennel, and Matt Elgenfritz. Zach Thompson behind the plate, and Oliver Ellison on the mound. Gavin Roy steps in, and the first pitch from Ellison. High for a ball, 1-0. Gavin Roy, the senior from Sudbury, Ontario. One of the captains on this team. Played hockey in high school, was an assistant captain, played 2 seasons at Cloud County Community College in Kansas before coming to WSU, and he watches the 1-0 up high. Ball 2-0. Gardner-Webb, the alma mater of the closer for the San Diego Padres, Mason Miller, attended Gardner-Webb in college. Here's the 2-0. Misses for ball 3-0. Roy with the green light now. Tell you a little bit more about the university itself, since I don't have much info on the players. After the 3-0 pitch to Gavin Roy, which is in there for a strike. It's 3-1. They're located in a city called Boiling Springs, North Carolina. It's 50 miles away from Charlotte. It's the 3-1 to Roy, in there for a strike. The count is now full 3-2. Gardner-Webb is a private Baptist university. It's called Boiling Springs High School in 1905. They have over 3,000 students at the school. Here's the payoff. Grounder to short. It's Camarillo. Throws to first. In time for the out. One away. Camarillo to Elgenfritz. It's a 6-3 put out. Gavin Roy is retired. That'll bring up the left fielder, Mason Perot, the freshman from Sammamish for Washington State. Perot, both of his parents played or graduated from WSU in 1990. Here's the first pitch to Perot. Misses for a ball, 1-0. He was first team All-League quarterback at Skyline High School in Sammamish. Played for head coach, former WSU linebacker Peyton Pallure, who's been the head coach at Skyline for a couple years now. So the 1-0 to Perot is up high for ball 2-0. Do have a little bit of information on Ellison. Previously played at Coastal Carolina before coming to Gardner-Webb, as the 2-0 to Pro is soft pop up over the head of the third baseman Repepe into left field for a base hit. So it's a single, 1-out single from Mason Perello. And that'll bring Max Hartman up to the plate for Washington State. He had a good last game against Oregon State. He reached base twice, had a single, reached on an error by the shortstop. Hartman hitting .286, 2 homers, 18 RBIs. The senior from Alberta, Canada. Right-hander Ellison looks in. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Hartman, one of many Canadians on this team for Washington State. And Hartman actually played for Team Canada's 2022 junior national team, and his younger brother was drafted by the Atlanta Braves. Is that 0-1's in there for a strike? It's 0-2. Hartman's younger brother was drafted by the Braves in the 20th round back in 2024. It's currently down the count 0-2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. As the 0-2 pick off to first. That ball gets away, going over by the first base dugout. Taking second on the error on the pitcher is Mason Perello. Sometimes when you throw a lot of pickoff attempts, you take the risk, and it certainly hurt Gardner-Webb on that throw. The Throw from Ellison got away from the first baseman Elgin Fritz, allowed Perella to get into second on what I would have to assume is going to be an error on the first baseman. As the 0-2 is ground lined into left field, underneath the ball is Smith. He makes the catch. Staying at second is Perello. Line out right to Daniel Smith out in left field for the second out of the inning. That'll bring Ollie Obenauer to the plate. Obenauer Tuesday against Oregon State had a single and then was retired the next 3 times after that. No homers on the year, hitting 279, 9 RBIs. And they did indeed charge an error to the pitcher on that pickoff attempt. It's the first pitch to Obenauer, misses for a ball 1-0. Obenauer, the sophomore out of San Jose, where Washington State was last weekend, taking on San Jose State. This week it's Washington State's bye from conference play, playing a non-conference opponent this weekend as the 1-0 is in there. For a strike, it's 1-1. Obenauer has played both of his years here at Washington State so far. Both his parents played at Cal Poly. His mom was a volleyball player. His dad was a baseball player. As the 1-1 misses for ball 2, 2-1. His uncle played at Pacific and was drafted by the San Diego Padres back in 2007. So very athletic family is the Obenauers, as Ollie has a 2-1 count and the pitch. Swung on, fouled straight back. It's 2-2. If Obenauer can reach, it'll be Dustin Robinson up to bat next here in the bottom of the first. There are 2 outs, and it's a 2-2 count here on Obenauer. No score, just underway here at Bailey-Brayton Field. Game 1 of a 3-game series. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and hit into center field. Underneath it is the center fielder Carter. He makes the catch. And that'll retire the side here in the first. Washington State gets no runs on a hit. There was 1 error, and there was a runner left. We've played 1 at Bailey-Brayton Field. We are scoreless here in Pullman. This is WSU Baseball, and KGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
Played 1 inning here at Bailey-Brayton Field. It's scoreless after Washington State had a runner on base, got to second, but was not able to do anything with it. Nick Lewis on for his second inning of work. Through 16 pitches in the first. He'll face Drew Repepe to lead it off, and the first pitch to him is outside for ball 1-0. Repepe, the redshirt junior out of McMurray, Pennsylvania, as the 1-0 is home. Swinging a fly ball to center. Coming in is the center fielder Hartman. Slides and makes the catch, and a tip of the cap from Ryan Shawnsby. Nice sliding catch there by Hartman. Came all the way in, tracked that ball down, battling the sun, and made that catch. Fell right into the glove for the first out. 2 pitches, 1 out for Lewis here in the second, and that'll bring up Ethan Leal, the right fielder for Gardner-Webb. Hitting .244, no homers, 7 RBIs on the year. The redshirt senior from Dublin, California. previously played at Ohlone College, and the first pitch to him, swinging a pop up. This might be played over Shawnsby. Right near the fence of the Gardner-Webb bullpen, makes the catch in foul territory for the second out of the inning. I definitely had enough room for Shawnsby. Definitely had enough room on that play and didn't give up and ran all the way to the fence and tracked that one and made the catch. So it's a 3-pitch, 2-out inning so far for Nick Lewis, and that'll bring up Daniel Smith, the left fielder for Gardner-Webb. First pitch to him in there for a strike 0-1. Smith, the junior from Cumming, Georgia, hitting .227, 1 homer, 6 RBIs. 0-1 to Smith. Lined into center field, coming on is Hartman. Makes the catch, and it's a quick 5-pitch inning for Nick Lewis here in the second inning as he sets down the Bulldogs 1-2-3 in the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second. We're scoreless here in Pullman. This is WSU Baseball and KGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
Go to the bottom of the second here at Bailey-Brayton Field. Nick Lewis only needed 5 pitches to get 3 outs in the top of the second. He's cruised so far. Leading off the second for Washington State will be Dustin Robinson. He'll be followed by Ryan Shawnsby and then Dane Chavez. And if anybody reaches, Noah Thine. 5, 6, 7 here for Washington State, facing the right-hander for Gardner-Webb, Oliver Ellison. Gardner-Webb making the long trip from North Carolina, playing their first ever game against Washington State. First pitch to Robinson. Misses for a ball, 1-0. Robinson, the left-handed hitter. Redshirt sophomore from Brea, California, hitting .193, 1 homer, 18 RBIs on the season. As the 1-0 is fouled straight back 1-1. Was teammates at the JUCO level with the man on the on deck circle for the Cougars, Ryan Shawnsby. They both played JUCO at Cypress Community College. That's the 1-1 to Robinson. Misses for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike on Robinson. Barely any wind today. Just a tad bit, not very heavy. As the 2-1 to Robinson swung on, hit into left field. Tracking it is the left fielder, Smith. That's going to be out of his head and over the wall off the scoreboard and gone. It's a home run for Dustin Robinson, the Cougars' first home run at Bailey-Brayton Field since the Grand Canyon series. And that gets the Cougars on the scoreboard 1-0 on a home run by Dustin Robinson. Got pitched to his liking, and Daniel Smith, the left fielder, was following all the way he could and ultimately ran out of room. It hit off the scoreboard in left field and gives the Cougars a 1-0 lead. And that'll bring up Ryan Shawnsby now, and that's home run number 4 that's home run number 2 on the season for Robinson. And Shawnsby swings and fouls the first pitch back, strike 1, 0-1. Great start on offense today for the Cougars. as the 0-1 to Shawnsby. Swung on, lined into center field. It's a base hit. Shawnsby running first. He'll hold there. It's a single for Shawnsby, and it's 2 hits for Washington State to start the second inning. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Dane Chavez. That was a soft liner just over the head of the second baseman, Ryan Kennel. That went right into center field, and that'll bring up Dane Chavez with a runner on first. No outs here in the second. 1-0 Washington State leads after the home run to left field by Dustin Robinson. Chavez, the freshman from Kennewick, and squares the first pitch and grounds it right back to the pitcher, Ellison, who throws to first in time for the out. But on the play, Shawnsby goes to second, so it's a productive out for Dane Chavez on the sac bunt.
Catcher, number 46.
First out here in the second inning for Washington State. That'll bring up Noah Thine, the catcher. One of 3 catchers on the roster, at least one of the catchers that starts. Thine, the senior from DeWitt, Iowa, hitting from the left side. First pitch to him. High for a ball, 1-0. Thine hitting .088, no homers, 4 RBIs. Struggled so far this season. Cougs would like to get his bat hot in a hurry. Hopefully start this weekend against a non-conference opponent. Almost the same record as the Cougs. 1-0 to Thine. Catches the top part of the zone for strike 1, 1-1. Runner on second, 1 out in the bottom of the second. 1-0 Washington State after the leadoff home run by Dustin Robinson off the scoreboard and left. It's the 1-1 to Thine inside, and that hits him. Another batter reaches base for Washington State. It's going to be first and second now with 1 out, and that'll bring up the 9-hitter, Kyler Northrup, the shortstop today for Washington State. The sophomore from Billings, Montana. Hitting .239, no homers, 9 RBIs. In Tuesday's game, Northrup hit a single and reached base twice and stole a base against Oregon State. First plate appearance for Northrup here today. First pitch. Swinging a fly ball, shallow right field. Underneath it is Leal, the right fielder, makes the catch. Shawnsby thought about tagging and heading to third, but instead he'll retreat back to second. So first pitch fly out for Northrup, and that's the second out of the inning.
Number 6, Gavin Roy.
And that'll bring up Gavin Roy for his second plate appearance of the game. Roy, last inning, back in the first, grounded out to short on a full count for the first out. Second time to the order for Washington State now. Gardner-Webb still has their 8-9 hitters due up. Ellison checks second. Here's the pitch. Inside, and that hits Roy square in the back, and that'll load the bases with 2 outs for Mason Perello, who had a single on a 2-0 pitch back in the first and reached on and got to second on a error by the pitcher Ellison on a pickoff attempt. And that'll prompt a visit from the catcher, Zach Thompson, who will be on deck to lead off the third inning for the Bulldogs. Perot hitting .284 after improving his average to .284 after coming in with .274. So .284 after a single back in the first inning. Standing in from the right side is Perello. And the pitch. Catches the top of the zone for a strike, 0-1. Game 2 of this series is tomorrow evening at 4:05 here from Bailey-Brayton Field. I will not be on the call for you on that one. We'll have 2 different people here. I'll be back with you on Monday as the 0-1 to Perello misses for a ball 1-1. I'll be back with you on Monday as Washington State concludes the 6-game homestand, hosting the Pilots from the University of Portland Monday afternoon at 12:05. And then Game 3 wraps up Saturday with the first pitch at 12:05 as the 1-1 to Perello lined and caught by the second baseman, Kennel. Leaping catch on that one. If he wouldn't have prevented that from getting into right field and scoring another run for Washington State. So Perello lines out to second for the third out of the inning, but not before Washington State gets a run on the home run by Dustin Robinson.
On the Cougar Sports Network.
In that inning, they get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave the bases loaded. We go to the third inning here at Bailey-Brayton Field. Cougars lead the Bulldogs 1-0. This is WSU Baseball on KGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
Played 2 innings here at Bailey-Brayton Field. Washington State with a 1-0 lead over Gardner-Webb. Nick Lewis back on for the third inning after only throwing 5 pitches to get 3 outs in the second. He'll face 8-9-1 for Gardner-Webb. Zach Thompson, Alan Camarillo, and then back to the top of the order, Merrick Carter. Zach Thompson, the catcher for the Bulldogs today, stands in from the right side. The senior from LaGrange, Georgia, and Lewis's first pitch to him is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Thompson hitting .283 on the year, 1 homer, 18 RBIs. 0-1 to him. Swinging a ground ball to short. Northrop has it. Throws to first in time, in plenty of time for the out, and there's 1 away. That's 5 straight set down by Nick Lewis, and he's retired 7 of the first 8 hitters after walking Augusto back in the first. So 1 out for Gardner-Webb in the third, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Alan Camarillo, the 9-hitter, standing over on the right side. He takes the first pitch down low for a ball, 1-0. Camarillo, the junior out of Chula Vista, California, hitting .308, 9 homers, 16 RBIs. The 1-0 to Camarillo. Grounded to second. Up with the ball is Roy. Plenty of time to first, in time for the out. And on 4 pitches, there's 2 outs. Another quick and efficient inning so far for Nick Lewis, who is dialed in so far to start this game. That'll bring up Merrick Carter, the Bulldogs leadoff hitter. 0 for 1. Grounded out or flew out to left field back in the first. 1-0. Washington State leads on the home run by Dustin Robinson. First pitch to Carter, missed just for a ball. 1-0. Carter now hitting .291, 6 homers, 22 RBIs. The senior from Shelbyville, Tennessee, the only left-handed hitter in Gardner-Webb's lineup. 1-0 misses for a ball. 2-0. Another efficient inning so far by Nick Lewis. Not going to be 5 pitches this inning, but he did need 4 pitches to get 2 outs. 2-0 to Carter, grounded to short. Northrop has it, throws, and plenty of time to first, and that'll retire the side. Nick Lewis sets down the side 1-2-3 for the second inning in a row and has retired 9 of the first 10 batters he has faced in this game. All groundouts in the second inning. No runs, hits, errors. No one left for the Bulldogs. We go to the bottom of the third. Washington State 1, Gardner-Webb 0 on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
listen to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
We go to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Washington State after a 7-pitch third inning by Nick Lewis after a 5-pitch second inning. For Washington State, it'll be 3-4-5 in the order. Max Hartman, Ollie Obenauer, Dustin Robinson. Hartman lined out to the left fielder, Daniel Smith, back in the first inning. 0 for 1 on the day. Hitting 283, 2 homers, 18 RBIs. Hartman hitting from the left side against the right-hander Oliver Ellison, back on in his third inning of work. 15 pitches in the second, currently at 32. 33rd pitch to Hartman, in there for a strike, 0-1. Hartman, the senior out of Alberta, Canada. Quickly behind the count, no balls and 1 strike. And the 0-1 to Hartman. Low for a ball, 1-1. 1-0 Washington State after the leadoff homer by Dustin Robinson in the second off the scoreboard in left field. Took the left fielder Daniel Smith all the way back until he couldn't get it anymore as the 1-1 swing and a miss for strike 2 to Hartman. He was looking to leave the yard on that one. Comes up empty. 1-0 Washington State, bottom of the third. 1-2 count on Max Hartman. Nobody on. And the pitch. Swing and a foul back behind the plate. We'll do it again. Nick Lewis, very efficient last 2 innings. Currently sitting at 28 pitches through 3 innings so far. Definitely been the best starter for Washington State this year. Is the 1-2 to Hartman. Misses low. Counts even, 2-2. On deck for Washington State is Ollie Obenauer, flew out to center field to end the first inning. The 2-2 to Hartman. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and a pitch down in the dirt. Hartman was looking to swing for the fences on that one again. Comes up empty. First strikeout of the day for Ellison. And that'll bring up Ollie Obenauer. Like I mentioned, flew out to the center fielder Merritt Carter to end the first inning. Despite the efficient last innings for Nick Lewis, he only has 1 strikeout on the day. As the first pitch to Obenauer is in there for a strike, it's 0-1. Hitting 274, no homers, 9 RBIs for Obenauer. Falls behind 0-1, and the 0-1 is in there for a strike. It's 0-2 on Obenauer. Sophomore out of San Jose. Ellison, the junior from Knoxville, Maryland, played at Coastal Carolina the last 2 years. Here's the 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Back-to-back strikeouts for Oliver Ellison, and there's 2 gone here in the third. For Dustin Robinson, who got the Cougs on the board and has been the only he has for an encore. That got his average up to 202. That was his second homer on the season. Left-handed hitter. Stands in the first pitch. In there for strike 1, 0-1. Here right now for Ellison at 4.71 after giving up that homer. That was the 7th homer he's allowed all season. It's the 0-1 to Robinson. Up high, having to get out of the way of that one is Robinson. That was inside. Counts even 1-1. Wind picking up a little bit, not as heavy as Tuesday. It's the 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. On deck for the Cougs is Ryan Shawnsby if Robinson gets aboard. Currently down in the count, 1-2. Ellison wind up in the pitch. Just misses down low. Gardner-Webb dug out on the first base side. Wants that call, but the plate umpire Dale Luker says it was low for ball 2. 2-2 on Robinson. His homer was on a 2-1 count. Let's see what he has on the 2-2. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. And they're going to say it was actually Robinson got a piece of that one. So he stays alive. Still 2-2. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Ellison in the third inning. So his first 2 strikeouts on the day. Now up to 44 on the season. 2-2 to Robinson with 2 outs. Misses in the dirt for a ball. Full count, 3-2. No runners on base, otherwise they would be off with the full count pitch. Robinson looking to do damage again for the Cougars. Here's the payoff. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Robinson comes up empty. And Oliver Ellison strikes out the side in the third. No runs, hits, errors, and nobody left in the third for Washington State. We've played 3 innings. We go to the top of the fourth. 1-0 Washington State leads on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
We go to the fourth at Bailey-Brayton Field. Washington State with a 1-0 lead on Gardner-Webb. It'll be 2-3-4 for the Bulldogs. Kennel, Augusto, and Elgin Fritz. Nick Lewis, 28 pitches through 3 innings, sat down 9 of the first 10 he's faced, and the only guy that he has struck out so far is at the plate, Ryan Kennel. So the first pitch grounded fair over to Obenauer. Tough play, and not in time as the ball it gets away from Shawnsby, taking second, sliding in there safely as Kennel on the first pitch. I would imagine they'll go a single on that one and then advance to second on the error. So there's the first hit of the game for the Bulldogs as Kennel got a very light chopper. Tough play for Obenauer to make, and he probably would have been better just holding on to that one. With Kennel's speed down the line, no chance he would have got him. And they're going to go with a single on that one as well as an error. So I was correct on that one. And the only guy to previously reach before Kennel is up now, Kelvin Augusto, the DH for the Bulldogs, and he takes the first pitch in for a strike, 0-1. Augusto, the senior from Puerto Rico. Lewis checks second. And the 0-1. Swing and a ground ball. Caught! Right back to Lewis. Checks second, doesn't throw there. Throws to first, gets the easy out. Throws to Shawnsby. What a play by Lewis. It wasn't a hard linebacker. It wasn't a hard linebacker. It wasn't a soft comebacker or a hard comebacker. It was a soft comebacker right to Lewis, the pitcher. And he proves that pitchers are indeed athletes. Throws to first, gets the out. 1 away. Runner at second for Matt Elgin-Fritz. Flew out to right field back in the first. And the first pitch to him, swung on, hit past Lewis. Roy has it. Throws to first. Over to Shawnsby in time for the out. First pitch to Elgin-Fritz. Grounds out to the shortstop for the second out. On the play, Kennel goes to third. And they have given that error to Obenauer that allowed Kennel to reach second. So it's a runner on third with 2 outs, and I'll bring up the third baseman for the Bulldogs, Drew Repepe. He's out for 1, flew out to the center fielder Hartman in the second, and he takes the first pitch of his second at bat up high for a ball. It's 1-0. In the 1-0. Catches the very bottom part of the zone, 1-1. So despite those 2 base runners allowed by Lewis, he has been very efficient through the first 3 2/3 of this game. So 1-1 to Repepe is fouled off in front of the Bulldogs dugout on the first base side. Strike 2, 1-2. Lewis only 1 strikeout on the day. That was He got Kennel looking back in the first. Kennel currently the runner on third for the Bulldogs. 1-2 count, 2 outs, 1-0 Washington State in the third. The pitch. Swing and a fly ball foul off of the Miller Indoor Baseball Training Complex behind the video board down the right field line and out of play. Repepe stays alive, still 1-2. Lewis looking to retire to the side again. Here's the 1-2. In the dirt for a ball. Good stop by Thine back there, preventing no further advancement from Kennel at third. Counts even, 2-2. For Pepe can reach, it'll be Ethan Leal, the right fielder, coming up next for the Bulldogs. Here's a 2-2. In there for strike 3, about the same spot as the first strikeout for Lewis. That's his second strikeout of the day. That's strikeout number 29 on the year for him as he gets Repepe looking for the third out. But Gardner-Webb gets no runs. 1 hit. There was an error and 1 runner left. We've played 3.5 here at Bailey-Brayton Field. Washington State leads Gardner-Webb 1-0 on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
We've played 3.5 innings here at Bailey-Brayton Field. Washington State with the lead over Gardner-Webb, 1-0 on the Dustin Robinson solo homer back in the second. Nick Lewis, another efficient inning despite giving up the leadoff single. 9 pitches in the fourth, really cruising along here despite only having 2 strikeouts. On the other side, Oliver Ellison with 3 strikeouts of his own after striking out the side in the third. He'll face Ryan Shawnsby lead off the fourth, and the first pitch to Shawnsby is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Shawnsby singled back in the second. Got to advance to second on the sac bunt by Dane Chavez, and then advanced to third after no time was hit by a pitch. The 0-1 to Shawnsby grounded to first, and taking it himself to the bag is Elgin Fritz. Beats Shawnsby there just in time. Shawnsby hustling down the line, but Elgin Fritz barely beats him there for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Dane Chavez. Had a sac bunt right back to the pitcher. Ellison back in the second. He's 0-1. Left-handed hitter. One of 5 left-handed hitters in the lineup for Washington State, facing the righty in Ellison. First pitch to Chavez. In there for strike 0-1. Chavez, the freshman from Kennewick. Three-time All-League, 2-time All-League in basketball in high school, as the 0-1 is up high for ball 1-1. He was ranked the number 10 shortstop in the state of Washington by Prep Baseball Report. His dad, Devin, was a 15th round draft pick by the Chicago Cubs in 1991. 1-1 count to Chavez. Pitch in there for a strike. It's 1-2. Ellison looking for another efficient inning after only throwing, despite all the strikeouts, those were two of those were very high counts. So through 14 pitches, check swing, did he go? Yes, says the third base umpire, Stephen Craze. That is strike 3. Chavez has struck out, and that is the 4th strikeout of the day for Ellison. That is now 46 on the season. So 2 outs for Washington State. And that'll bring up Noah Thine. From my first glance, I thought Chavez went too far on that one, and that was he clearly didn't pull back in time. Stephen Craze called him out down there at third. Noah Thine steps in, 0 for 1 on the day. First pitch in there, first strike, 0-1. Actually, check that. He's 0 for 0. No official at bat. Got hit by a pitch on a 1-1 count back in the second. Looking for an efficient inning. Ellis in the 0-1 to Thine. Misses for ball 1. Counts even, 1-1. If Thine can reach, Kyra Northrup stands on deck. Currently facing a 1-1 count against Oliver Ellison, the pitch. Swinging a fly ball into left. Catching it on a line is Daniel Smith for the third out of the inning. So that's 7 straight retired by Oliver Ellison. Going back to the hit by pitch after he hit Gavin Roy in the second. 1, 2, 3 go the Cougars in the fourth. We go to the fifth. It's 1-0 Washington State on KUGR, the student voice of the Blues.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
Played 4 innings here at Bailey-Brayton Field. Washington State continues to lead 1-0 off the Dustin Robinson solo homer in the second inning. Nick Lewis back out there for the 5th inning after 3 very efficient innings. Threw 9 pitches in the 4th, currently at 38 pitches. Standing in to lead things off for the Bulldogs is the right fielder Ethan Leo. Popped out in foul territory to Ryan Shawnsby on the first pitch he saw back in the second. He swings at the first pitch this time and comes up empty on a slider. It's 0-1. Leo, the senior from Dublin, California. On to him, lined into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Rounding first, heading for second is Leo. Up with the ball it is the left fielder Perelos, but standing up at second with a leadoff double is Ethan Leo. He's only seen 3 pitches today, and he's made a lot of contact. And he's aboard with a leadoff double, and immediately the tying run is in scoring position for Daniel Smith, who lined out to center field back in the second inning. Now Nick Lewis will have to work around the leadoff double and try to strand him at second. Lewis checks second, comes home. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. It's 0-1. Well, Smith lined out to center field on an 0-1 count back in the second inning. 0-1 to him this time. Lined and caught by the second baseman, Roy. Tries to throw over to Northrup for the double play, but Northrup got over there late, and Leo got back there in time, standing up. So it's just 1 out, but it's a line out to second for the first out, and that'll bring up Zach Thompson. That was a sinking liner, soft liner. Gavin Roy barely had to move. The second base umpire, Joseph Finley, had to move over a little bit so he wouldn't get hit by that. That'll bring up Zach Thompson, the catcher. Lewis checks over to first, and out at second base is Ethan Leo. Got caught leaning a little too far on that one. That's going to go Lewis to Roy. That erases the base runner. And immediately there's 2 outs for the Bulldogs here in the 5th inning. Base running by opponents has been trouble. We saw that with the Grand Canyon series. First pitch home to Thompson. Swinging a fly ball into right field. Underneath it, going back is the right fielder, Robinson. That's off the wall. Rounding second, stopping there is Zach Thompson. So that pickoff is more crucial now for Nick Lewis, because if he didn't get him, this game would have been tied. Instead, it's a double for Zach Thompson. And the tying run now is back in scoring position for the number 9 hitter, Alan Camarillo. And that'll prompt a visit from Noah Thine, the catcher. Which gives me a good time to remind you, if you like what you're hearing, make sure to subscribe to the KUGR Sports YouTube channel. It will help us earn a profit for the school and allow us to travel to call WSU sporting events rather than just the ones here on campus. And it will help support us, so we would greatly appreciate if you subscribe if you like what you're listening. And, of course, give this a like, as the first pitch to Camarillo is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. 2 outs, runner at second, 1-0 Washington State in the 5th. It could have been tied, but Nick Lewis was able to pick off the runner at second, Ethan Liao, to prevent the Bulldogs from tying it, as the 0-1 to Camarillo is in there misses outside for ball 1-1. Camarillo 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out to the second baseman, Gavin Roy, back in the 3rd. So 1-1. In there for a strike, it's 1-2. If Camarillo were to reach, Gardner-Webb would go back to the top of their lineup for the 3rd time today, and it'll be the leadoff man, center fielder Merritt Carter, in the on-deck circle. 1-2 count on Alan Camarillo, the junior from Chula Vista, California. Lewis checks second. Here's the pitch. Swinging a fly ball down the right field line. This one is dropping foul. Picking it up is Robinson, the right fielder. Count remains 1-2 on Camarillo. Didn't have a chance to tell you about Camarillo and his last at bat because it ended so quickly. But he previously played at Azusa Pacific before coming to Gardner-Webb. Down in the count, 1-2. 2 outs. Nicholas trying to strand a runner at second. Here's the pitch. Chopper foul behind the plate. Camarillo stays alive. Still 1-2. Lewis sitting on 29 strikeouts on the season. He's got 2 so far today, looking for his 3rd and number 30 on the season. 1-2 to Camarillo. Swinging a fly ball down the right field line. This one's foul and heading into the Bulldogs bullpen. Camarillo stays alive. Still 1-2. Camarillo putting up a battle here. Certainly getting Nick Lewis's pitch count up. This will most likely be the first time since the 1st inning that he has had to throw more than 10 pitches in the inning. Through 16 in the 1st, 5 in the 2nd, 7 in the 3rd, 4 in the 9th. Cruising along so far. 1-2. Swinging a liner into left field for a base hit. Rounding 3rd, heading for home is Thompson up with the ball. And the throw to the plate is too late, as Thompson scores on the single from Camarillo, and the Bulldogs have tied it up at 1. 3rd time through the order usually haunts a pitcher, but it's been the bottom part of the lineup the 2nd time through that's really gotten to Lewis. And he's going to stay out there for now, but Washington State will probably start to get some action up in the pen soon. So it's an RBI for Camarillo on the single, scoring Thompson from 2nd. And a throw back to 1st, just back in safe, is Camarillo. I was looking down at my scorebook, and based on the crowd's reaction, they wanted the out call, but just back in there safely is Camarillo. First pitch to Carter is up high for a ball, 1-0. Carter now hitting .288, 6 homers, 22 RBIs. 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to left in the 1st and grounded out to short in the 3rd. Look back over to 1st. In there standing up is Camarillo. On deck is the 2nd baseman, Ryan Kennel. but Lewis is worrying about Merritt Carter, the center fielder, first. Another look over to first. Back in standing up is Camarillo. So it's still a 1-0 count on Carter. Not using the Major League pickoff rules, but if they were, Camarillo would take second. The 1-0 to Carter, grounded to second. Up with the ball is Roy. Plenty of time to throw to first, and he does, and it's in plenty of time for out number 3 in the inning. Or check that. That is out number 3 in the inning. So in the end, the Bulldogs get 1 run. They get 3 hits. There were no errors, and the Bulldogs leave a runner on base. We're halfway through. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Bulldogs 1, Cougars 1 on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
We go to the bottom of the 5th at Bailey-Brayton Field. It's now tied as Gardner-Webb gets a run in the top of the 5th. Oliver Ellison stays on to pitch the bottom of the 5th. He's going to face 9-1 and 2. Northrop, Roy, and Perello for the Cougars. Northrop walking up to the plate now, flew out to right field on the first pitch he saw back in the 2nd inning for the 2nd out. 236, no homers, 9 RBIs on the year for Northrop. 9 pitches that last inning for Oliver Ellison. Really efficient that last inning. Ellison has retired 7 in a row. The first batter he'll face is Northrop, and he watches the first pitch in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Last batter to reach against Ellison was the man standing in the on-deck circle, Gavin Roy. Back in the 2nd inning, he was hit by a pitch. This is the 0-1. Misses for a ball. Counts even 1-1. Well, it is now tied, and Gardner-Webb now has more hits than Washington State, so the Cougs will look to get the bats going again. This might help. 1-1, line to center. Carter going back, dives, cannot get it. Rounding first, heading for second is Northrop. He's not stopping. He rounds second, heading to third, and Northrop is in sliding with a triple. That'll start something there. That's a triple for Kyra Northrop. And for Northrop, that is the 2nd triple of the season. And immediately, the go-ahead run is 90 feet away for Gavin Roy. That was a line drive. Carter ran after that one, went into a full-on dive to try to get that one. It got past his glove, and with Northrop's speed, he was not slowing down. He turned the corner and went to third. So now that'll bring up Gavin Roy, hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning. First pitch home. Misses outside for a ball. 1-0. Gavin Roy looking to drive home Kyra Northrop. Just a simple fly ball will do it. The 1-0 line into shot right field. That drops in front of the right fielder. Leoff for a base hit. Coming around from third and scoring is Kyra Northrop. It's an RBI single for Gavin Roy, and the Cougars retake the lead. It's 2-1 Washington State here in the bottom of the 5th. So after the efficient 4th inning by Ellison, he's given up back-to-back hits, and the Cougars have 2 batters in, have already halfway through the cycle. They have a triple and a single. They need a homer and a double to hit for the cycle here in the inning. Let's see what Mason Perello can do. He stands in for his 3rd plate appearance, singled and advanced the second on a throwing error, and advanced the second on a pickoff attempt error by the pitcher in the first, lined out to the second baseman Kennel back in the second, so he's 1 for 1, and he watches the first pitch in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Freshman from Sammamish, look back to first, back in safely on a dive is Gavin Roy. 2-1 Washington State. Cougars just took the lead on an RBI single by Gavin Roy. Before that, it was a triple into the center field gap by Kyler Northrup. Actually, not into the gap. It was past the center fielder Carter on a dive. 0-1 popped up. This might be playable. Tracking it is the first baseman, Ilgun Fritz, and he's out of room. That's went in front of the indoor training facility for strike 2. 0-2 on Perello. No outs. Runner at first. 2-1 Washington State just took the lead. RBI single by Gavin Roy after the triple previously before that by Kyler Northrup. For Gavin Roy, that's RBI number 20 on the season. Perello himself has 11 RBIs on the season. Another throw back to first. Back in safely on a dive again is Gavin Roy. Game 1 of the 3-game series. Game 2 coming your way tomorrow at 4:05. I will not have the call for you. 2 different people will be on the call for that one. So the 0-2 is up high for ball 1 and 2. Sounds like it's going to be Smith, Sly, and Will Arthur on the call for you tomorrow, but not 100% sure on that one. 1-2 count on Mason Perello. Checks home. Here's the pitch. Up high for a ball. Having to get out of the way of that one a little bit is Perello. 2-2. Was up near his helmet. Perello has worked the count even after flying behind 0-2. No outs. Bottom of the 5th. 2-1 Washington State. Ellison's 2-2 pitch home. Runner goes. Swinging a fly ball into right field. Coming and sliding, making the catch is Liao. Not retreating back to first. Staying at second is Gavin Roy. And they're actually going to say it's a double play as Roy thought that was getting in. So that's it's going to be a double play. Not exactly sure how that's going to be scored, but it is a double play as Gavin Roy was off on that pitch, got to second, and thought that was going to get down. He didn't realize Liao was going to slide and make that catch, but it's a double play, and there's 2 outs now for Max Hartman, and he takes the first pitch for a ball 1-0. Have to wait to see what they score that one. 2 outs, bases empty. 2-1 Washington State. Max Hartman at the plate. The 1-0 pitch misses just low for a ball 2-0. Gardner-Webb wants that one. Dale Luker, the plate umpire, not going to give it to him. 2-0 count on Max Hartman. In the pitch. Swing and a grounder to second. Kennel has it. Throws to first in time for the out, and the inning is over. So after the first 2 guys in the inning reach, they're going to go double play, right field unassisted on that one. After the first 2 guys reach for Washington State, nothing doing after that, but they take the lead on the RBI single by Gavin Roy. There was a hit, run on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the 6th, 2-1 Washington State on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
We go to the 6th inning, 2-1 Washington State here from Pullman. Nick Lewis stays back out there for the 6th inning. Through 11 pitches that inning, didn't give up the tying run in the first. Alan Camarillo hit an RBI single to drive home Zach Thompson. First batter he'll face this inning is Ryan Kennel, and he grounds the first pitch fair to Obenauer. Throw is just barely in time. Shawsby keeps his foot on the bag. What an athletic play down by Obenauer, or there by Obenauer. That was a tough play. Chopped that one just barely fair. Obenauer had to throw it underhand to get it over to Shawsby and just barely gets it over in time. 1 pitch, 1 out for Nick Lewis in the 6th, and he'll face Kelvin Agosto. 0 for 1, walked in the 1st inning, grounded right back to the pitcher Lewis back in the 4th inning. 385 is Agosto, 3 homers, 31 RBIs. First pitch to him, in there for a strike, 0-1. And the 0-1 on the way. Grounder to second. Roy, plenty of time to first. Gets the out. He throws to Shawsby. 3 pitches, 2 outs here for Nick Lewis. In the 6th inning, that'll bring up Matt Elgenfritz, the first baseman. 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to right in the 1st. Ground out to short in the 4th. Elgenfritz looking for his first hit of the day. Currently stuck on 41 hits this year. Nick Lewis, two strikeouts on the day, both looking. As the first pitch to Elgenfritz misses high for a ball, 1-0. Lewis's second strikeout was the guy on deck, Drew Repepe. He'll hit this inning if Elgenfritz can reach, as Elgenfritz is ahead in the count, 2-0. As that pitch is high. And the 2-0 home. Liner over the head of the shortstop, Northrop, into left field for a base hit. Elgenfritz on board with a single. 5th hit of the day for the Bulldogs, and Drew Repepe will indeed come up for the Bulldogs. Nathan Cho staying in the dugout. He's going to let Nick Lewis face Repepe here. 3rd baseman today for the Bulldogs. 0 for 2, fly out to center field in the 2nd. Struck out looking in the 4th. Hitting .316, 4 homers, 18 RBIs on the season. First pitch home to Repepe. No, moved to first, back and standing up, Elgenfritz. Kind of risky there if you go in standing up. You have a chance of getting picked off, but did not happen that time. Elgenfritz back up standing. First pitch home, another move to first. Elgenfritz back up standing again. Elgenfritz 7 for 7 in stolen base attempts this year, so obviously concern over at first is what Lewis is worried about. First pitch home, in there for a strike on Repepe. It's 0-1. Repepe looking for his first hit of the day. 24 hits on the season. Came into the game hitting .324, and it's now down to .316, 4 homers, 18 RBIs. Another move over to first. Diving in this time is Elgenfritz back in safely. Again, Elgenfritz 7 for 7 on stolen base attempts this year. Lewis definitely keeping an eye on him. Checks first, comes home. 0-1. Liner into right field. Drops in front of the right fielder, Robinson. Rounding second, heading for third is Elgenfritz. Holding at first, now advancing to second. Sliding in is Repepe. The ball bounces away from Obenauer, but not far enough away for Elgenfritz to come home. So I imagine it'll be a single.
Right fielder number 12.
Taking second on the throw is Repepe. And heading to third on the throw is Elgenfritz, and that'll prompt a visit from Nathan Cho. Tying run is 90 feet away. Go-ahead run is at second. 2 runners in scoring position for the Bulldogs. Lewis currently at 59 pitches here in the top of the 6th with 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Washington State 2, Gardner-Webb 1. Game 1 of the 3-game series. While we have a moment, let's take a look at other action going on across the Mountain West today. Again, Washington State, only team with a non-conference series this weekend. Elsewhere around the Mountain West, we're the only game in action today. Everybody else gets started tomorrow. Fresno State is at Air Force. New Mexico hosts San Diego State. Grand Canyon hosts UNLV. And Nevada hosts San Jose State. As the first pitch to Ethan Liao misses for a ball, 1-0. And they did indeed give Repepe a single to right field, advance to second on the throw. 1-0 to Liao. Coming halfway up the line from third was Elgenfritz. Jogs back, and 1-0 is upstairs for a ball. It's 2-0. 2-0 count on Liao. Second and third, 2 outs. 2-1 Washington State. 2-0 grounded to second. Roy has it in time to first to Shonsby, in time for the third out of the inning. So Nick Lewis bends but does not break. Strands 2 runners in scoring position. Gardner-Webb gets no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and they leave 2 runners on. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 2-1 Washington State on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
We go to the bottom of the 6th at Bailey-Brayton Field. Back-to-back 11-pitch innings by Nick Lewis. He left 2 runners stranded in scoring position for the Bulldogs. It'll be 4-5-6 Ollie Obenauer, Dustin Robinson, Ryan Shonsby for the Cougs to face Oliver Ellis and the starter for Gardner-Webb, still in there in the 6th inning, currently at 70 pitches so far for the Bulldogs. Obenauer's first pitch to Obenauer, swinging a fly ball into center field. Coming on is Carter, and coming in from right field is Ethan Liao. Moves in front of the center fielder. Carter makes the catch for the first out of the inning. 1 pitch, 1 out for Oliver Ellison here in the first. The triple by Kyra Northrup ended a streak of ended a streak of 7 retired in a row for Oliver Ellison. And now it's 3 in a row retired, and that'll bring up Dustin Robinson. Takes the first pitch, watches it for a strike, 0-1. 1 for 2 on the day as Robinson homered back in the second off the scoreboard in left field. Struck out swinging in the third. 0-1 count to Robinson. Misses. Inside for a ball, 1-1. Robinson hitting from the left side. Robinson, the first of 4 straight left-handed hitters coming up for Washington State, followed by Ryan Shonsby in the on-deck circle. 1-1 to Robinson, swung on, hit into the left field, back on into Smith. This one is off the wall, about the same spot as his homer. Rounding first, heading for second is Robinson. He's in there standing up with a easy double. So Robinson is halfway through the cycle. He's got the homer and the double. He needs the single and the triple. 6 innings, got 2 hits, both to left field, almost virtually to the same spot. Hit a homer off the scoreboard in left field and gets this one into left center. Smith tracked that one, and Carter came over a little bit from center field, but neither of them could get to it. So it's runner at second in scoring position, and Robinson with 1 out for Ryan Shonsby. Washington State with a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch to Shonsby in the dirt, stopped by Thompson. Low for a ball, 1-0. Second of 4 straight left-handed hitters coming up here for Washington State. as the 1-0 home in the dirt. Stopped again by Thompson behind the plate. 2-0. Shawnsby on the day is 1 for 2, singled back in the second, grounded out to the first baseman, Ilgen Fritz, unassisted back in the fourth. Currently is ahead in the count, 2-0 here in his third at bat. And the 2-0 misses low for a ball. 3-0 the count on Shawnsby. Dane Chavez in the on deck circle for Washington State. Shawnsby with his hit today. That was hit number 33 on the season for him. 3-0 takes all the way. Inside ball 4-pitch walk to Ryan Shawnsby. First and second with 1 out. That'll bring up Dane Chavez, the freshman from Kennewick. Over 2 on the day. Sack bunt to the pitcher, Ellison, back in the second. Struck out swinging back in the fourth. And this will prompt a visit from Jim Chester, the head coach of the Bulldogs. Let's see it. He makes the call to the pen. They have a couple guys warming up. Nobody's actually started throwing on the mound yet, so I would guess this is just a visit to the mound just to get things squared away for Ellison. Once again, this is the first game of a 3-game series. Second game of the series will be coming at you tomorrow at 4:05 p.m. I believe that'll be Smith Sly and Will Arthur on the call. Not 100% sure on that one. My next game with you will be Monday at 12:05 p.m. as the Cougs wrap up the 6-game homestand hosting the Portland Pilots before they go on the road for quite a while. After Monday, they won't be back until Tuesday, April 21st. If you haven't been out to a game yet, you still have time to do so. The Cougs, after today, have 11 home games left. Last home game of the season will be Tuesday, May 12th, hosting Seattle U. Tomorrow night is Bark in the Park for Washington State. The only time you can bring your dogs to the ballpark at Bailey-Brayton Field. Anyways, mound visit is over. Oliver Ellison stays in the game. Currently at 78 pitches, and he'll face Dane Chavez now. Third of 4 straight left-handed hitters. First pitch to him, move back to second, and back in there before the throw is even made is Robinson. First batter was retired in the 6th. That was Obenauer. But then the next 2 guys have reached double for Robinson and a walk to Shawnsby. And the first pitch to Chavez misses for a ball. 1-0. So that's 5 straight misses now for Ellison. And Gardner-Webb is getting somebody loose in the pen. Looks like a right-hander is throwing. 1-0 to Chavez. Catches the inside corner for a strike. 1-1. On deck is Noah Thine, the catcher for Washington State. Chavez calls time, steps back in the batter's box. 1-1 count on Chavez. Here's the pitch. Swing and a chopper foul down the first baseline out of play. Count goes to 1-2 on Chavez. Chavez now hitting .208, no homers, 4 RBIs. Came into the game with a .212 average. Still looking for that elusive 12th hit for Washington State. Looking for his first home run at the college level. Won't get it here. Chopper on 1 hop to the shortstop. Camarillo throws to first. In time for the out. 2 away, but on the play, both runners move up. Robinson to third. Shawnsby to second. 2 runners in scoring. So it's an out, but a productive out for Chavez as it moves both runners into scoring position. That'll bring up Noah Thine, the catcher for Washington State. Hit by pitch in the second. Line out to left in the fourth. So he's 0 for 1 on the day. This will end the string of left-handed hitters as the next 3 hitters for Washington State are all right-handed hitters. If Thine can reach, it'll be Kyle Northrup to hit for Washington State. He tripled his last time up back in the 5th. Thine watches the first pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Can't see exactly who's warming up for Gardner-Webb, but there is a right-hander throwing. As the 1-0 to Thine misses outside for a ball, 2-0. There is action in the pen for Washington State too, but nobody's actually up on the mound and throwing. There are guys getting loose, but nobody's on the mound throwing. Looks like Nick Lewis will be going back out for the 7th. 2-0. Pop up into left field, foul into the Washington State bullpen. Out of play, 2-1. 2-1 Washington State here in the bottom of the 6th. 2-1 count on Noah Thine. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. Bottom of the 6th inning. 2-1 count on Thine. Ellison back out there. This will probably be his last batter. If he doesn't retire Thine. Even if he does, I doubt he'll be back out there for the 7th for the Bulldogs. Here's the 2-1. Swinging a grounder to first. Bobbled over there by Ogenfritz, but he steps on the bag himself for the out. And that'll do it for the Cougs in the 6th. They get no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 2 runners stranded in scoring position. We played 6 at Bailey-Brayton Field. Washington State leads Gardner-Webb 2-1 on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
We go to the 7th. Washington State leads Gardner-Webb 2-1 at Bailey-Brayton Field. Nick Lewis back out there for the 7th inning. Back-to-back 11-pitch innings. Currently at 63 pitches through 7. If he gets very short innings, he could go a complete game despite giving up 6 hits in a run. For the Bulldogs, there'll be 7, 8, 9. Daniel Smith, Zach Thompson, and Alan Carrillo. Smith, the left fielder for the Bulldogs today. Lined out to center field in the 2nd. Lined out to the 2nd baseman, Roy, back in the 5th. He's 0 for 2 in the first pitch he sees in the 7th. Misses low for a ball, 1-0. Smith came into the game hitting .227. He's now at .208, 1 homer, 6 RBIs on the season. Currently hitting the count 1-0. And here's the pitch. Grounded to 3rd. Obenauer bobbles and throws, and it's not in time. Safe at first is Smith. I would assume they're going to give him a hit, but Obenauer did not field that cleanly. If he would have got him in time. But once he bobbled it, there was no chance he was going to get him at first. Probably should have just kept it. So it's a first runner is aboard at Gardner-Webb. They put an error on the board, so it looks like they're going to charge an error. Up now is Zach Thompson. Shows bunt. Lewis throws back to first. Back in safely is Smith. We'll have to see what they rule on that one, but it looks like it's going to be an error on Obenauer. First pitch home to Thompson. Shows bunt. Pulls back. Takes a strike. Back pick to first. Back in on a dive is Smith. So leadoff runner is aboard here in the 7th, and they have indeed given an error to Obenauer on that one. So it's an E5 that allows Smith to reach base. 2nd error for the Cougs today. 2nd on Obenauer, as a matter of fact. And it's a 0-1 count on Thompson. Did not show bunt on that one. Takes low for a ball, 1-1. Third baseman and the first baseman for Washington State came in on that one, Obenauer and Shawnsby. Playing it like Thompson was going to bunt, did not. Gets the count even, 1-1. Move back to first. Smith back in standing up. 2-1 Washington State, top of the 7th, 1-1 count. No outs, runner on first. Nick Lewis back out there for the 7th, facing Zach Thompson with a 1-1 count. Washington State is just getting somebody loose, just started throwing. 1-1 comebacker right to Smith, throws to first in time for the out. For the first out of the 7th on the play, Smith goes to second. It's an out, but a productive out for Zach Thompson on the 1-3 ground out. Runner in scoring position. That's the tying run now. In scoring position for Alan Camarillo, who drove in the first run for Gardner-Webb. Singled back in the 5th, drove home Thompson. First weight appearance grounded out to second in the 3rd, so he's 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch he sees here in the 7th. Liner into center field. Coming on is Hartman. Makes the catch. Going from second to third and sliding in there safely is Smith for the second out of the inning. But it's a productive out again for the Bulldogs as Camarillo is able to advance Smith to third. The tying run now 90 feet away. That'll bring up the leadoff man, Merrick Carter for the Bulldogs. 0 for 3 on the day. Fly out to the left in the 1st. Grounded out to shortstop Northrop in the 3rd. Grounded out to second baseman Roy in the 5th. Cho does not come out. It looks like he's going to let Lewis stay. And we have a stoppage in play. It looks like a couple of infielders came in to talk to him. Cho going to let Lewis get this last out in the 7th. Currently at 69 pitches here. The 7th, his 70th pitch home to Merrick Carter. Misses for a ball. Back pick at 3rd, and the throw gets away from Lauer. Coming in from 3rd to score is Daniel Smith, and that's how this game is tied at 2. Smith was leaning too far off of 3rd and Thine threw it over to the 3rd baseman Obenauer and threw it into left field. That brings home the tying run. Base runners erased, and now the 1-0 to Carter smashed foul for a strike, 1-1. 3rd error of the game for Washington State. I would assume they're going to charge this to Noah Thine on the throw. The 1-1 home to Carter. Misses for a ball, 2-1. 2 outs, top of the 7th, 2-2 tie. Gardner-Webb just tied on the air by Washington State. 2-1 inside, almost hits Carter. Backs out of the way of that one, and he's ahead in the count, 3-1. Washington State now has stopped throwing. The reliever in the bullpen is the 3-1. Carter was ready to toss his bat aside. He thought it was ball 4, but it's taken for a strike on the inside corner. Full count, 3-2. And they have indeed given an error to Thine on the throw. So E2 is how this game is tied. Payoff, liner into left field. That's down for a base hit. Carter reaches base for the first time today as he's aboard with a single in front of the left fielder Perello. And Gardner-Webb all of a sudden has lit up Nick Lewis in this inning, and Choate is going to stick with him. He has confidence in his pitcher to get this 3rd out. He's going to face Ryan Kennel here, the second baseman for the Bulldogs. Kennel is 1 for 2 on the day. Struck out looking in the 1st, singled in the 4th, grounded out to 3rd in the 6th. Before he throws the first pitch, Lewis throws back to 1st, and back in safely is Carter. For Carter, that's hit number 33 on the air. 2-2 tie, 2 outs, top of the 7th, runner on 1st. The first pitch home. Down low, but I guess it apparently catches the very bottom of the strike zone. 0-1 on Kennel. Lewis now at 75 pitches. Before he throws to 76, he throws back to 1st. Back in safely is Carter. And Washington State is getting a pitcher warming up. That's Caden Wickersham, the right-hander, just getting up and throwing for Washington State. 1-1 grounded to 3rd. Obenauer has it in time for the out to Shawnsby. And finally, the inning is over. But not before Gardner-Webb gets a run on one hit. There were 2 Washington State errors that inning. And 1 runner left on base for the Bulldogs. We go to the 7th. bottom of the seventh. The seventh inning stretch here at Bailey-Brayton Field. Our score: Gardner-Webb 2, Washington State 2 on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
Tyler Northrup.
Oliver Ellison back out there in the seventh for the Bulldogs. The game is now tied 2-2 after the throwing error by the catcher Noah Thine on the back pick to first. That run was unearned, so Nick Lewis only has one unearned run so far. It'll be 9-1-2 for Washington State. Kyra Northrup leads off and takes the first pitch high for a ball 1-0. Ellison back out there for his seventh inning of work has thrown 87 pitches to this point, so likely be his last inning. 1-0 to Northrup. Grounder grabbed by the second baseman, Kennel. High throw, but it's in time for the out to Elgin Fritz for the ground out. And the first out here in the seventh. Northrup now 1 for 2 on the day. That'll bring up Gavin Roy. Reached base twice. Grounded out to short in the first. Hit by pitch in the second. Singled in the fifth. Facing there. Gavin Roy, 376 hitter, no homers, 20 RBIs on the season. First pitch to Roy misses low for a ball. It's 1-0. Roy now with 20 hits on the season exactly after the single in the fifth. 1-0 home. Checks his swing, and he went around. Home plate umpire Dale Luker calls that himself. That's strike one, 1-1. Mason Pro in the on-deck circle for Washington State. He's already got one hit so far today. 1-1 home to Gavin Roy. Catches the very top of the zone for strike 2, 1-2. 2-2 tie. 1 out, bottom of the seventh at Bailey-Brayton Field. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count on Gavin Roy in the pitch home. Swinging a grounder to short. Camarillo bobbles it, but throws in time to first for the out, and there's 2 away. That'll bring up Mason Perello now. Singled in the first, advanced to second on the throwing error by the pitcher, Oliver Ellison. Lined out to the second baseman, Kennel, in the second, and flew into a unassisted double play by the right fielder Leo in the 5th inning when Gavin Roy tagged up and was too far off the bag at second. First pitch home to Jaguar, pinch hitting, grounded to third. Up with the ball is Repepi. That was Jaguar pinch hitting for Perello. That's in time for the out, and the Cougs go 1-2-3. Very efficient 7th inning for Oliver Ellison. Cougs go 1-2-3 in the 7th. We go to the 8th. It's tied 2-2 between Washington State and Gardner-Webb on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
We go to the 8th at Bailey-Brayton Field. 2-2 tie, Gardner-Webb, Washington State. Nick Lewis stays on for the 8th inning. We have a whole slew of changes. In fact, an outfield change. Alexander Jaguar comes in, who pinch hit for Mason Pro, grounded on the first pitch. He's out of the game. Cole Watterson takes over in his spot in the number 2 spot in center field as first pitch home to Kelvin Augusto leading off the first inning is fouled off for strike 1. So Cole Watterson into the game in center field. Moving from center field to right field is Max Hartman. Moving from right field to left field is Robinson. 0-1 home to Augusto. Misses outside for ball 1-1. So the new outfield alignment for Washington State after the 1-1, grounded to short. Northrop has it, throws in time to first for the out, and there's one away. So the new outfield for Washington State, Robinson in left, Watterson in center, Hartman in right. One out here for Gardner-Webb. Nick Lewis back out in the 8th inning through 14 pitches in the 7th. Currently at 80 pitches here in the 8th inning. Nathan Choate keeping him out there to face Matt Elgenfritz. First pitch home, in for a strike 0-1. Elgenfritz singled back in the 6th inning. Ended up advancing to as far as to third on that one. The 0-1 home yanked foul down the right field line, 0-2. Nick Lewis only 2 strikeouts so far today, both looking. Hasn't struck out a batter since the 4th inning today. 0-2 count on Elgenfritz, the pitch. Check swing. Holds back. Doesn't go. The Coug fans wanted a strike on that one. Looks like that one just missed the very top of the zone. It's 1-2 on Elgenfritz. 1-2 pitch home. Low for a ball, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 8th. 2-2 tie between Gardner-Webb and Washington State. Nick Lewis still out there, the starter for Washington State. Looking for his 3rd strikeout. The 2-2. Liner into right field for a base hit. Elgenfritz with his 2nd base hit in as many at-bats. And he reaches first. The go-ahead run is now aboard at first base. That'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Drew Repepe. 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to center field in the 2nd. Struck out swinging in the 4th. Singled in the 6th. And got to 2nd on the throw over to 3rd. The junior from Pennsylvania, now time called Noah Thine goes out to the mound. Ryan Shonsby comes in from first to join in on the conversation. Nick Lewis now at 85 pitches on the evening here in the 8th inning. Trying to keep the tie, trying to keep the go-ahead run at first base in a tie game at 2-2. Game 1 of the series between Gardner-Webb and Washington State. First ever meeting between the 2 teams. Meeting has concluded. Shonsby back to first. I'm behind the plate. Drew Repepe steps up. 3rd baseman today for the Bulldogs. Right-handed hitter. First pitch home. Set to move over to first. Back in standing is Elgenfritz. Elgenfritz 7 for 7 on steal attempts this season. Nick Lewis very concerned about him. Already seen 1 pickoff by Nick Lewis today. First pitch home. So Repepe is outside for a ball. Good stop there by Thine behind the plate. 1-0. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Double play gets the Cougs out of the inning. 1-0 pitch home. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 1-1 the count on Repepe. Repepe was looking for the fence on that one. He has 4 home runs so far on the season. He was looking for number 5 right there. 1-1 pitch home. Grounder to short. Northrop has it. Throws to first for 1. On to first. It is in time for 2. Shonsby keeps his foot on the bag. It's a 6-4-3 double play. And the go-ahead run is stranded. It's an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play for the Cougars. Bulldogs get no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. And hold on, we have a meeting here. Let's see. Gardner-Webb might actually ask for a review on this one. saying that he didn't keep his foot on the bag, and we'll see if they go to review on this one. So inning is not quite over just yet. As of right now, it is, but 4 umpires are getting together to see. Not sure if Jim Chester, the head coach for the Bulldogs, asked for a review on this one. As it stands, it's a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play to end the 8th inning with the game tied 2-2. Runner is definitely out at second, and they're going to go. They are indeed going to review this, so it'll be a review here. Jim Chester, the Bulldogs head coach, asking for a review. It's definitely an out at second. The question is if Shawnsby kept his foot on the bag at first. First review we've seen here this week at Bailey-Brayton Field. We went 2 games without a review against Oregon State, and we have our first one here in the 8th inning. It'll be the home plate umpire, Dale Luker, the crew chief, and the first base umpire who made the call, Kyle Fecto, on the phone with the replay center in this one. As it stands, it's a 6-4-3 double play. The call in the field was out at first, so they have to have enough evidence to overturn the call at first. If it stands, it's an inning-ending double play, and Washington State will come up to the plate in the 8th. If it's overturned, it'll be runner at first base with 2 outs for Ethan Leal, the right fielder for the Bulldogs. And the longer this takes, leads you to believe that they're going to stick with the call on the field, but we'll have to see what the umpires go with here. Nick Lewis throwing warm-up pitches just to stay loose. He's currently at 85 pitches. It'll either be inning over or on the double play, or runner at first with 2 outs in the top of the 8th, and a 2-2 tie. Washington State getting out hit 8-6 in this one. 3 errors defensively by Washington State. 2 of them costly. 1 of them allowed the tying run to score. 2 by Obenauer, the third baseman, and 1 by the catcher, Thine. The 1 by Thine allowed the tying run to score. Looks like we have a ruling here. And Dale Luker will let us know what the ruling is here in just 1 second. And the call has been confirmed. It is an inning-ending double play. Washington State gets out of the 8th inning with the go-ahead run stranded at first base. Bulldogs get no runs a hit, no errors, and no one left. With that, we have played 7.5 innings here at Bailey-Brayton Field. Tied up, Gardner-Webb 2, Washington State 2 on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
We go to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Bailey-Brayton Field in Pullman. Washington State and Gardner-Webb tied in their first ever meeting, 2-2. Oliver Ellison stays out there to pitch at least the start of the 8th inning, and what's likely to be his last inning. 93 pitches. He'll face 3-4-5. Max Hartman, Ollie Obenauer, Dustin Robinson, Hartman 0 for 3 on the day. Line out to left, strikeout swing, and a ground out to second. First pitch home in the 8th, shows bunt, pulls back, takes up high for a ball, 1-0. Hartman hitting now 279 after coming in hitting 286. Still stuck on 36 hits on the season. 1-0 home. catches the outside part of the strike zone. Counts even, 1-1. Washington State looking for the go-ahead run here in the 8th inning to help as the 1-1 fouled back 1-2. Washington State would like to get the go-ahead run home here in the 8th and not have to rely on a walk-off situation in the 9th or in extras. Count is currently 1-2 on Max Hartman. 2-2 tie, bottom of the 8th. No outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on line, foul. That's getting in the parking lot between the concession stand and Beasley Coliseum. Still 1-2 on Hartman. 96 pitches now for Ellison. 97th pitch home. In there, strike 3 called. Hartman doesn't agree with the call, but that looked like that caught all the zone, and Hartman has struck out for the first out, and that is the third strikeout of the day for Oliver Ellison. All looking surprisingly today. Actually, that is the 5th strikeout of the day. First looking for Ellison today. So there's 1 out. Nobody on, and that'll bring up Ollie Obenauer. First pitch to him misses low for a ball, 1-0. Obenauer 0 for 3 on the day. Flew out to center in the first, struck out swinging in the third, flew out to right in the 6th. Ahead in the count, 1-0. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a foul behind the plate, 1-1. Obenauer hitting .266 on the year. No homers, 9 RBIs. Came into the game with a .279 average. Still stuck on 17 hits. He's committed 2 of the Cougars' 3 errors today. Here's the 1-1 home. Upstairs, having a duck underneath that one is Obenauer. That one comes inside, almost hits him. That one's high, almost hits him. 2-1 the count now on Obenauer. 1 out, bottom of the 8th, 2-2 tie. Gardner-Webb and Washington State. Here's the 2-1. Swinging a chopper foul down the third baseline in front of the Washington State dugout. Counts even, 2-2. On deck for Washington State is Dustin Robinson, who had the home run off the scoreboard back in the 2nd inning for the first run of this game. 2-2 home to Obenauer. Swing and a miss. Drop third strike. Throwing down to first to complete the strikeout is Thompson. And there's 2 gone for the Cougs here in the 2nd inning. That'll bring up Dustin Robinson. 2 for 3 on the day. Homered in the 2nd, struck out swing in the 3rd, doubled in the 6th inning. Halfway to the cycle, needs the single and the triple. I doubt he'll get it, considering we're here in the 8th inning. And this will be pitch number 99 for Ellison, and it's in there for a strike. 0-1 on Robinson. Jim Chester, the Bulldogs head coach, has kept his starter out there this whole game. Both starters have pitched this entire game so far. Pitch 100 to Robinson. Swing and a foul. Swing and a grounder fair, just barely fair. Rounding first, heading for second is Robinson. Up with the ball is the left fielder Smith. And standing up with his 2nd double of the day. A 2nd double in as many at bats as Dustin Robinson. It's a 3-hit day, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position for Ryan Shawnsby. And let's see if Jim Chester comes out. He came out. Looks like he's going back into the dugout. Looks like he'll keep Ellison out for at least one more batter to face Shawnsby. Currently at 105 pitches for Oliver Ellison. Nick Lewis, the starter for Washington State, is at 88 pitches through 8 innings. Can easily go out for a complete game if Washington State grabs the lead here. Ryan Shawnsby steps up. First pitch. Liner through the right side. Gloved by the second baseman now. Bobbled. Coming in is Robinson throws the plate. Not in time. Robinson slides in safely. And the Cougars have the lead 3-2. Ryan Shawnsby produces as it's likely going to go as a single. Thought that was going to get through the middle. The second baseman, Kennel, tough play. He bobbled it. Loney bobbled it. He had no chance. Robinson didn't stop around second or third. He came around home on the play. The throw got back in, but he just barely beat it. And Washington State takes the lead 3-2. And maybe think Gardner-Webb's asking for another review as the umpire. They do have one challenge left. They already lost their first one, and they're going to get together on this one, and they're going to ask for a review on this one. To me, from my view up here, it looked like he beat the throw, but we'll see. And I can tell you, if they call this out, the Washington State crowd is not going to be too happy. Remember, the call at home was safe, so they need enough evidence to determine that the throw beat Robinson, which from my first glance, I don't believe it did. As it stands, it is 3-2 Washington State. If it stands, it'll be 3-2 Washington State with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. If it's overturned, that'll be the 3rd out of the inning, and we'll go to the 9th inning tied. Looks like the starter, Ellison, is going to stay out there. I'm not sure how long Jim Chester is going to keep him out there for. He's already had 106 pitches here in the 8th inning. And looks like this is a quick review. We have our ruling here. The plate umpire, Dale Luker, and second base umpire Joseph Finley went to the review on this one. Here comes the call from Dale Luker. And they are going to stick with the call in the field. Robinson is safe. Washington State has the lead 3-2. And Gardner-Webb is now out of challenges. And so now Nick Lewis will be going into the 9th inning looking for the complete game despite giving up 2 runs on 8 hits. And this will bring up Ryan Shawnsby. He's got a 2-hit day himself, singled back in as actually Dane Chavez. Shawnsby takes off, and the throw not in time. Shawnsby slides underneath the tag of the shortstop Camarillo. That's a stolen base for Shawnsby. That is stolen base. Shawnsby is now 3 for 4 on stolen base attempts this year. And the insurance run is now at second base. Dane Chavez is up. The pitch was called a ball. Chavez 0 for 3 on the day, looking for his first hit. Lefty hitter stands in the 1-0. Down low for a ball. Good stop by Thompson. Prevents Shawnsby from advancing. Oliver Ellison still in the game for Gardner-Webb. We do have some action in the Bulldogs bullpen. And we do also, looks like we might have some action in the Cougars bullpen. 2-0 home. Low. Ball 3, 3-0. Chavez. Green light. 3-0 count. If he reaches Noah Thine on the on-deck circle, here's it 3-0. Just misses inside, ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk to Dane Chavez. It's first and second, 2 outs, and a 3-2 lead for Washington State. That'll bring up Noah Thine. Jim Chester still going to keep Oliver Ellison in there. 110 pitches. He's probably looking for the complete game, but this might not happen. And we're actually going to have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Trevor Smith stepping up for Washington State, the switch hitter. Right now, hitting from the left side. See if Jim Chester, he's on the top step of the dugout. He's going to stay in the dugout and let Ellison pitch to Smith. The switch hitter hitting from the left side. So Thine's day is done. First pitch to Smith, inside for a ball, 1-0. Cougars have already used one catcher today, Jaguar, so you would have to think Cam McLeod will come in and catch the 9th inning. Smith, the freshman out of El Cajon, California, just came back this week after last week against San Jose State. So 1-0 home is in for a strike 1-1. After having to lead the game due to an injury, the game against Utah right before Washington State played their first home game against Grand Canyon. Smith hitting 347, the 1-1 swing and a miss. He was looking for something on that one. Comes up empty, 1-2. Smith hitting 347, 1 homer, 12 RBIs on the year. Base hit likely drives home Shawnsby from second. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Smith the pitch. Swinging a ground ball to second. Up with the ball. Kennel throws to first in time for the out, and the inning is over. But not before the Cougars get the go-ahead run home on an RBI single by Ryan Shawnsby. Part of 2 hits in the inning for Washington State, a run on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave 2 runners on. We go to the 9th inning. Last try for the Bulldogs. Washington State leads 3-2 on KHR, the student voice of the Palouse.
You're listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR.
We go to the 9th inning here at Bailey-Brayton Field. Washington State looking for the final 3 outs of this game. They lead 3-2 against Gardner-Webb. A new pitcher on the mound after the 8 dominant innings by Nick Lewis. It's the right-hander August Ritchie, 3.98 ERA, 18 strikeouts, 9 walks. Final line today on Nick Lewis, 8 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 88 pitches, 59 strikes, and also a new catcher. As I assumed, it was going to be Cam McLeod. It indeed is Cam McLeod, the only catcher left on the bench for Washington State. It'll be 6, 7, 8 for Gardner-Webb, Ethan Leal, Daniel Smith, Zach Thompson, and if anybody reaches, Alan Carrillo. All right-handed hitters. The only left-handed hitter in the Bulldogs lineup is Merritt Carter, the leadoff hitter. Leal steps in, 1 for 3 on the day. First pitch to him in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Leal, so far on the day, popped out to the first baseman. Sean's being foul territory, singled in the 5th and ground out to second in the 6th. 0-1 home. Chopper foul in front of the Washington State dugout. It's 0-2. Only 2 strikeouts on the day for Nick Lewis. Not his typical stuff, but goes 8 strong innings. Now is giving way to August Ritchie to try to get the save. 0-2. Just misses. Cougar faithful wanted the call. Dale Luker doesn't give it to him. Ritchie still had the count. It's now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Leo. The senior out of Dublin, California. Pitch home. Misses. Getting out of the way, that one is Leo. That one was inside. Counts even now, 2-2. So Leo has worked the count even after falling behind. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. Grounded foul in front of the third baseman, Obenauer. Over on the Washington State dugout and out of play, still 2-2. 8 strong innings from Nick Lewis. Nathan Cho obviously loves that. The starter for Gardner-Webb, Oliver Ellison, has gone the full 8 innings as well. 2-2 is a pop-up on the infield. Calling for it is Obenauer. He's under it, makes the catch. That's the first out of the inning. Cougars now 2 outs away from their 2nd straight victory and grabbing a 1-0 lead in the series and all time against Gardner-Webb. So Leo will finish 1 for 4 on the day. That'll bring up Daniel Smith, the left fielder, lined out to center in the 2nd. Lined out to 2nd in the 5th. Reached on and throwing error by Obenauer in the 7th inning and scored the game-tying run that tied it at 2. And he fouls the first pitch back in this at-bat for a strike. It's 0-1. First 0-1 pitch, swung on and belted down the left field line. Underneath it is Robinson, up against the wall, makes the catch for the 2nd out, and the Cougs now an out away from victory. That one had trouble on it, but Robinson was able to track it, get under it. It could have gone out, but it didn't have enough carry on it with no wind blowing today. As Smith will finish 0 for 4 on the day, and the last chance for Gardner-Webb is the catcher Zach Thompson. 1 for 2 on the day, had a RBI double that tied the game in the 5th and scored the first run. It's a pitch from Richie's in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Got it out to short. Thompson also got out to short in the 3rd, and back to the pitcher Lewis in the 7th. 0-1 home from Richie. Line to first. Shonsby, it's in fair territory. Steps on the bag himself, and that is the ball game. Washington State retires the Bulldogs in order in the 9th. Washington State wins 3-2, and they get their second win in a row. Improved to 16-17 on the year. Gardner-Webb falls to 16-18 on the year, and they take game 1 of this series, led by the outstanding pitching of Nick Lewis. 8 innings. He's the pitching star, but my offensive star of the day is going to be Dustin Robinson. Drove in 2 of the Cougars' 3 runs. Had the long home run in the 2nd inning. For the first homer was, it doesn't say the distance on it, but that was the first home run since the Grand Canyon series. We'll get you the final totals here in a minute, but Gardner-Webb, no runs, hits, errors, no one left in the 3rd inning, or in the 9th inning. Final line for Gardner-Webb's starter, Oliver Ellison. He goes the full 8 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 114 pitches, 69 strikes. We can tell you Washington State finishes with 3 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors. Gardner-Webb finishes 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. I would assume Nick Lewis gets the win and August Ritchie gets the save. Waiting for the final stats to come in. Great day pitching-wise for Nick Lewis. Offense was a little bit quiet, but they got the go-ahead run in the 8th inning that turned out to be the winning run. After Gardner-Webb lost the challenge on that one. Quick game today, 2 hours and 3 minutes, the time of the game today. Super quick game today. Waiting for the final stats to still come in here. Washington State gets the 3-2 win here on Gardner-Webb. Well, for Gardner-Webb, it'll be 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 6 left on base. Washington State will be 3 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors, 8 runners left on base. And we just received the final stats. Nick Lewis gets the win. He's 4-2. Oliver Ellison with the loss. He's 4-4. August Ritchie with the save, his 3rd. Time of the game was 2 hours and 3 minutes in front of 937 very happy Washington State fans. Washington State looks for the series win in Game 2 tomorrow of this series, which begins at 4:05. Going for Gardner-Webb is going to be the right-hander, Matt Stewart. The freshman from Massachusetts. Don't have the starting pitcher for Washington State yet, but if it lines up the way it has been, it's looking to be Griffin Smith for Washington State. Smith is a senior from Appleton, Wisconsin. Again, first pitch 4:05. It'll most likely be Smith Sly and Will Arthur on the call of that one for Game 2 of this series. Washington State looks for the series win. But that'll do it today for Bailey-Brayton Field. I'll be back with you on Monday for the final game of the homestand. Cougars host Portland at 12:05. Once again, the final total is for you one more time. Washington State's 3 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors, 8 left on base. Gardner-Webb 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 6 left on base. Washington State improves to 16-17. Gardner-Webb falls to 16-18. So for everybody involved with KUGR, our producer Brandon Chapman and our director Davis Hagan, I'm Declan Curran saying so long from Bailey-Brayton Field, where once again the final score, Washington State Cougars 3, Gardner-Webb Bulldogs 2. Cougars go for the series win tomorrow at 4:05 for Game 2 of the series. We'll talk to you then. You've been listening to Cougar Baseball on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.